On the Wado Radio Show.
Of course, man, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music. It's ministry. And we was trying to figure out before we went on the air how long it's been since we've had this brother on. And it was the last album. You know, he's had a string of EPs since then. But Canon is with us on the line. Canon, what's up, bro?
What up, dog? You know I'm here, man.
Hey,
what's
man.
Up, fam? It's been a minute.
It's been a little minute, and you've been through a lot of stuff since the last time you've been on here, man.
Yeah, man. Too much.
Too much, man.
Too much stuff.
You like a new man now, bro.
Man, bro, that's an understatement. Like, my whole life is different, dog. My whole life has changed. But yeah, you can say that.
My whole life has changed. That's funny. But it has, though, man. And I think, let me say this, bro. You definitely hear it in the music. You know what I'm saying? And you always made great music before, but it's like, marriage and the accident, the recovery, all of that stuff. And it's like, I feel like your music is going up a whole different level, with all these situations happening, bro.
Yeah. I think most of it is just my perspective is different.
Yeah.
My perspective went from I got time to make great music. I got time to grow my craft. I got time to change the world the way the world sees the Lord and all that. But now I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have the time I think I have.
Wow.
So I got to be great now. I got to serve the Lord now. I got to give up my life now, because tomorrow may not come.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have time. I ain't got time to waste. I don't waste my time because it ain't mine. So yeah, my whole perspective and outlook on things is changed for the better, but it's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to take us back to the night of the accident, bro.
Okay.
Like, you see these people, they need help. You go to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens, bro?
So, all right. So I'm in the car. You know, my road manager, he's in his car.
Yep.
My DJ, he's in his car. My road manager's in front of me. So he slows down and I slow down too. He gets out the car. I get out the car too. I see this truck flips over, see people in it. And my thing is like, man, I just want to be able to help the people in it if they're still alive. And I ain't never been in a situation like this before.
Yep.
So, so first and foremost, man, we try to see if they can hear us, if they're conscious. I run to the back window, kick the back window open. And in the light of trying to do all this, man, I realize, I don't know if these people if they got broken bones or anything. These folks is hurting.
Yep.
So I try to reach for them, like, yo, can you hear me? Let me try to reach for you. Try to, pull you out the truck. The guy in the driver's seat, he tried to start the car on, and I guess he's not fully aware of what's going on. He's out of it. There's gasoline all over the car, all over the truck. So everybody begins to panic when they see this. Two guys flipped over, truck full of gasoline, driver tries to start the car. It's all bad. So everybody kind of panics. And so, Brandon and 412, they run one direction, I run another direction. And I'm thinking on this highway where it's pitch black, I'm like, well, if anything, what I could do is, man, I'm going to just hop over this median and I'm going to just take cover if something go bad. If something explodes, blow up, I'm going to just take cover behind this median. And, man, lo and behold, realizing there wasn't a median, I hopped over that and realized there was another side to it. It was a 40-foot drop. And I woke up with the wind knocked out of me. My bones popped out of me and my jaw and my teeth everywhere on the ground. And so, they carried me out, ended up going to the hospital. They flew me to Vanderbilt Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee. After a few days later, I finally woke up after being sedated. Was still sedated when I woke up. They had to wire my mouth shut. They had to give me a trach tube. Had breathing complications, all that. Multiple surgeries, all kinds of stuff. And it was just, my life, I should have been dead. And, you know, I for sure have friends that remind me that, hey, you should not be here. You should have been dead. You should not be alive. And that I do realize. Tons of horror stories in the hospital. Tons of horrible experiences while in the hospital. Times I woke up and my mouth was full of blood. But I couldn't spit blood out because my mouth was wired shut. It's all kinds of things that I had to deal with. Things that it's too embarrassing to even talk about.
Sure.
And things where it's like, man, I don't know if people got the ears to hear. But it was a horrible experience for me being the first time I've ever dealt with something like that. But in and of it all, man, I realized, man, God, he could have took me out and he didn't, and I'm still here, which means I still got work to do and I don't have time to waste. So, yeah.
Man, bro, wow. My goodness, bro.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. One of the things though that it was hard to watch, but I was glad you filmed it, was the parts of your recovery process that you guys showed in the documentaries that came out. Because I think it's, I mean, listen, man, me and you have actually had this conversation multiple times. For a long time in Christian rap, everybody was a superhero, right? Everybody we were these superhero Christian rappers, and I think for you to put yourself out there that vulnerable, like, it's one thing to rap about it in a song, but it's another thing to actually show people your less than stellar moments visually. You know what I'm saying? And put that out there for the whole world to see, man. At what point did you decide we need to document this? We need to share this experience with people?
So first of all, like, I wasn't thinking about making no documentary. I was just like, this is a tragic moment in my life.
Yeah.
And at some point in my life, I want to be able to look back at this and say, thank God I made it. I don't want to forget what God has brought me through.
Yep.
And so I was just like, man, keep the cameras rolling, babe. Keep the phone, keep the iPhone rolling. You know, and one day we're going to be able to look back at this and say, God is good. But then when I thought about it, I'm like, man, after a while, after recording it, I'm like, people are going to have a lot of questions. And they're going to ask me to tell the story over and over and over again about what happened.
People like me, right?
There's going to be different versions. Well, no, it's different when it's your friends. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, people are going to have questions about it. There are going to be different versions of what happened go out. And I'm like, man, I know there are people out there that care about me. They care about my well-being more than they do about my music.
Yep.
And if anything, man, I want to be able to be a good friend to them, a good brother to them, and keep them in the loop somehow of what happened, what's going on. And so you know, I was just like, man, let's keep the cameras going. Let's film everything. You know, and at the end of filming everything, we can decide what we want to show to the world. We can edit it and decide what we want to show and what we don't want to show. But I'm like, man, I don't have anything to hide. You know, this is probably the most vulnerable anybody has ever seen me in,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, one thing that I'm learning now is, as a leader, you can only lead in vulnerability. You can't lead without leading with vulnerability. People have to begin to see your weaknesses so that they know it's okay to be weak. They have to know that it's okay to not be the best, to be at your best all the time. That's what grace is for. Grace is for the very thing that you cannot accomplish. It's a gift given. And, you know, in that, I'm realizing, man, people don't always see the need to be weak. People don't always see the need to show that weakness. Just like we talked about before, everybody want to be a hero some kind of way. Everybody want to save somebody. But what happens when the hero needs saving? And I'm like, man, I need saving.
Yep.
I need help. I'm not strong. I can't. I tried to save myself in that incident, and I couldn't save myself, even if I tried on my best day. And so I'm like, yo, there's a need to show the need for grace, and I feel like that's important. So why not show people my worst times? Why not show people my weakest times, the times where I need grace? Because I'm like, if you're gonna teach somebody grace, you have to lead by example, and one way to lead by example is by demonstration. And if I'm gonna teach you the need for grace, then I'm gonna show you at my weakest points why I needed it myself.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give that to the world, and that's for them. You know, and at the same time, I wanted people to see, man, this whole getting in relationships and marriage thing. It ain't just like America sold so many lies about marriage and relationships. Like they set up everybody for failure. And I'm like, marriage ain't this old fantasy fairy tale thing we think of. Man, it's hard, and you're gonna have to deal with some stuff. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of stuff because it's not for everybody. So you know, I just wanted to share my life with people, and I just pray that people see it and they understand it, and that they learn from it.
It's good,
bro.
So it's interesting, man, because along with, you know, kind of showing your vulnerabilities, I think people were able to kind of see the different emotions that you went through. You know what I'm saying? Like throughout this process, it's like the fighter in you is like, yo, I'm going to make it through this. The grateful in you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and you even had the record about that. And then you got a new record we played last week that even talks about, there's a point where you was just like, man, you just want God to take it all away. Like, why I gotta deal with this, bro? Like, man, just walk us through that emotion, processing that, making that song, you know, capturing that moment, man, and just, you know, how you were able to kind of push through that situation, bro.
So when I was going through it, I even like the conversation you have with yourself in the beginning, like before the verses start. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you're going back and forth on this thing, bro. Like, yeah. You know, the funny thing about this song that I wrote called "Take It All Away," it ain't out yet, but it's coming out. Funny thing about it is, me and my manager was talking about it, and he was like, "Man, you know, you wrote this song at least about 3-4 times, right?" And I'm like, "I know. I've written this song at least about 3-4 times in my career, and every time that I wrote it, I never released it.
Wow.
Like I never released it.
Interesting.
And it's not this song in particular, but it's like 3-4 versions of this song. The song talks about depression. The song talks about PTSD. The song talks about suicide. And I've been at all of these different points in my life before multiple times. But this time I was at the lowest of my low going through these moments. And I'm like, man, I can't write this song and not put it out. Because I'm not the only one who deals with this. I'm not the only person who struggles with it. What was going through my mind in this time, when I wrote "Grateful," I was like, man, I want to create a big picture. I wanted to create a bird's eye view of what was going on with the accident. But at the same time, with "Take It All Away," I wanted to give people detail of what was going on through my mind in the process. And after the accident, man, I dealt with so much depression. I felt horrible. I felt embarrassed. Bro, like when you just get married, this the position that I was in. I just got married. And I want to show my wife, my family, I want to show my mother-in-law, my parents, I want to show the people that she loves, that I want to show my wife, if anything, that I can take care of her. Like, I wanted to show her that I can be the man that you need, the man that can take care of you in this household. And the moment that, you know, that I'm like, yes, let me prove this to my wife, my new wife. I get everything stripped from me. Can't do nothing for myself. I can't walk for myself. I can't make myself a bowl of cereal if I wanted to. In the hospital, I couldn't use the bathroom by myself. I needed help with everything. I couldn't feed myself, nothing. I had to get a feeding tube through my nose because I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't lift a finger. And the one time that I wanted to prove that I could be the man that she needed, I felt like that was stripped. I dealt with so much embarrassment. I dealt with so much anger, frustration. The only thing I could do at a point was just hold my head down. My wife is tired. She couldn't sleep. Nights that she couldn't sleep at all. Man, I remember the night after the surgery, my leg felt like it was about to explode because it was right after the surgery and the medicine started to wear off. And I'm screaming in the hospital in the middle of the night. And my wife is like, she's exhausted. She has nothing left. Wow. And she's sleeping in a chair. She's been sleeping in a chair for I don't know how long, like a regular chair. It's just like beside me, like making sure that I'm okay. No extra pillows, no extra blankets. Like she in a chair, sleeping in that mud, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm feeling like, man, I wish I didn't have to go through this. So you wouldn't have to go through this. We finally get home. She's more than exhausted. She's happy she just got home. It feels like we just went to war. And it's like, when you come home from war, you want to rest.
Right.
But I already knew the war wasn't really over. We just made it home. The real war was, how can we get through this battle while we're at home? How can we get through it while we're at home now? Because there was still so much to do. PT, physical therapy, bills on top of bills, everything. And not just hospital bills, but dealing with your regular life.
Right.
Like marriage without this accident is a lot as is. Now, add the accident on top of that, it feels nearly impossible. So when I wrote this song, I'm just like, man, I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want my wife to deal with this anymore. I don't want to go through nothing like this anymore. Lord, take this all away. Now, when I originally wrote this song, because again, I was on so many pills, depression, suicide, all of that was in my mind. When I originally wrote the song, I was saying, take it all away. Just like I'm saying now, like, take it all away. But I wasn't saying originally, Lord, take it all away. I was telling myself, just take it all away. And like, not in the sense of, Lord, come rescue me, but Lord, I'm going to do this myself.
Yeah, basically, I'm out.
I'm going to, yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I'm checked out. Don't give me no gun. Don't give me no bullets, because it's a wrap if you do. If you put something in my hand, it's a wrap. And the only thing that could keep me from doing that literally was my wife. Because I'm like, I'm not going to allow my wife to go through this and be a widow all in the same. I'm like, nah. But I really wanted to off myself because I didn't want to deal with this no more. And so when I wrote the song, after a while I was able to get back to my notepad and write stuff. And I wrote tons and tons and tons of lyrics from where I was at. And literally, man, like I was just saying to myself, and just take it all away. You can easily get rid of all of this. This can all be over. It's in your hands, bro. And I realized that wasn't me talking, man. That was the devil. That was not the Lord talking. And I remember when I wrote the song, my manager was like, and this is kind of a dark song, because I changed a lot in that song. A lot. I said some things in that song that some people would never understand that I had to take out. I said some things in that song that you only say out of anger, that you only say out of frustration. Yeah, and in that, like, I had to go back and I had to go change a lot of stuff, because I'm like, with this song, I want people to identify where I'm at and I'm hurting. I I was at a place where it's like, man, I don't want to hear no Bible verses. I don't want to hear no scripture.
Yeah.
Don't preach to me. Don't preach at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to tell me, oh, I understand. I don't want to hear that. Don't try to comfort me by saying, hey, man, well, at least you're alive. Because I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to go through this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm spent. I'm tired. Nobody that I know understands fully of where I'm at right now. And so, man, when I wrote the song originally, bro, the song was a lot more strong. It was a lot more harsh. It was a lot more real, and it was a lot more vulgar. And so that's where my heart was at. That's just where I was at with the Lord. And it just took time and prayer, time in the Word, and people encouraging me to have me rewrite the song to a way where people can listen and be encouraged. So now as I rewrote the song, I'm like, man, I'm going to write this song, but it's not just about me. There's other people that went through things that I've been through. I'm not the only person that was diagnosed with clinical depression and PTSD and stuff. Man, you got war veterans that got to deal with that stuff. You got everyday people that got to deal with that stuff. You got pastors that got to deal with depression every day, and they trying to tell everybody fight for their joy in the Lord, but they don't see it themselves. But the core of what they're doing is to encourage and spur the body of Christ on. And I'm like, it's not just about me, man. It's about everybody who's trying to get through this time in their life. It's the darkest, the toughest. And I'm like, man, this ain't just about me. I want to encourage other people. I'm like, I don't got all the answers. All I can do is tell you where I'm at right now and what I'm trying to get to. But all I can do is tell you where I'm at, let you know how this battle is going on in my heart, in my brain, and give you some advice, not just in a song, but after the song. I can't give you all the information in a song. I can't tell you what to do of everything in a song. Like, I can't do that. But we can have a conversation after. The song is just a conversation starter for something much more deeper than just talking about I'm depressed and I'm frustrated with life. That's just a conversation starter. And so I rewrote the song for the edification of other people. After my heart began to change, that's when the song began to change. After my outlook on where I was at changed, that's when the song began to change. And from there, that's when I'm like, all right, I've rewrote the song. I can release this. Some people still may not fully see where I was at in the song when I wrote it. But people who deal with or have dealt with what I'm dealing with, they'll get it, you know. And this song is for them. This song ain't gonna be for everybody. So, and to be honest, that's what I've been on lately. I don't care what people got to say. I don't care. At the end of the day, if you ain't got no hell to put me in, no heaven to put me in, I don't care. It's the Lord. And what I do is for the Lord. You can say what you want, but I'm gonna do what I feel like the Lord put me to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, the Lord ain't gonna say, man, Aaron, you did a really good job putting out records, and you did a really good job being relevant and culturally relevant. Man, you did a really good job being number one on iTunes and gospel and hip hop. You did a really good job charting your record. No, he want to see if I'm faithful.
Yep.
And I just want to be faithful.
It's good, bro.
So,
would you say for you, man, as you were talking about where you were at and kind of getting through it, would you say for you actually talking this through and making the music is what got you through the situation? Because so often when I hear these types of situations, I'm talking to artists, they're going through stuff. My follow-up question is always, man, well, what got you through? Because I know that's what ministers to people. Because there's people listening, going through maybe not the exact same thing, but something similar, depression, whatever the case may be. And they're like, well, man, how did Canon get through this, man? For you, was it literally making the music and talking through this with your brothers? Or, what was it that got you from the point of where you were at and take it all away to where you are right now?
Two things, and it's going to be different for everybody.
Sure.
So, if people are listening hear me clear. Do not use this as a template because it may not work for you.
Sure.
You have to do what works for you. For me, it was three things. One, it was the Lord. It was realizing that the Lord could have killed me. He could have took me out.
Yeah.
He could take me out whenever he wants to, but he didn't. So that lets me know life is not mine, and the work that I have to do in my life is not finished, and I got work to do. So I need to get off my butt and work. I need to do whatever God is calling me to do. I need to do my job. I can't worry about the next man. I can't worry about another man. I can't worry about another label. I can't worry about another business. I can't worry about another person. I need to worry about what God is calling me to do and focus on what God wants me to do. So that's one. That was one reality check that I had. Two, my wife. Just seeing how hurt my wife was and how drained she was, I'm realizing I still have a responsibility to serve my wife and to lead this household. Just because I'm down and I ain't got feet doesn't necessarily mean my mouth ain't working. I can still encourage her in the scriptures. I can still point her to the cross when I need to. Like I can still serve her and serve her heart spiritually because that's my job. That's what I do as a husband. I don't, just like Craig told me, he was like, man, like you don't have a reason to fail. Like you don't have the right to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like you may fall, but you don't have the right to fail. Especially when you know when you know what to do is right. And I'm like, man, my wife needs my service. I'm down and out, but she still needs me to be strong. I got a little bit of juice in me. I better use this juice to serve my wife and serve the Lord with it. And so, two was my wife. And then three was music. Music was an outlet for me to say what I needed to say with nobody listening. Just the booth was an outlet for me to get the stuff off my chest when I couldn't write. Like, sometimes I would just sit in the booth, play music, close the door, and cry. That's all I could do. I couldn't rap. I couldn't do nothing. All I can do is just like mumble words, like words that wasn't even words. The only thing you can understand was just the fact that I was hurt. And the booth was the only place that I could go to where I wasn't judged for what I needed to say. I wasn't ridiculed for what I needed to say. I wasn't looked at crazy. I wasn't like, it was just me and the Lord in this booth. I could write when I need to. I can cry when I need to. I can record what I need to. Music was another outlet. People would say, man, you need to write a diary or something like that. You need a journal. I was like, man, all of my journals, all of my diaries are on my albums. All of my journals are on my diaries. They're on my computer. They're on my phone. Like, I write what's in my heart, and what's in my heart, I put on wax. That's my way of, that's my little coping mechanism. That's my therapy. And it became evident when I tried to make more music and new music. It really helped. It allowed me to get stuff off my chest. So yeah, for me, it was those three things. And of course, people praying for me. That's a given. I wouldn't be nowhere near I was at where I'm at now if people weren't praying for me. So I needed that. I needed people to pray. I needed to hear people pray. I needed to know that people were praying. That got me through a lot. And to know that people would be with me and my family, no matter how hard it got for us. So, yeah, those things helped me in particular.
Man, you know what, though, Canon, man? You've grown so much as a person and an artist, bro. Like, I was trying to save this and not sound like the old dude, but I gotta say it, bro. Like, I mean, you went from the dude that was just making turn-up records. I mean, you said it. You was like, yo, I always got more time. And it's like, man, I hear this stuff coming from you, and it's like, bro, it's I mean, I always loved your music, bro. I always loved you. So this is, like, not a slight in the least bit, but it's like, what you're doing is so much more massive. I don't even know if that's the right word, bro, but I see it, bro, and I'm encouraged by it. It's probably not the right word, but I'm encouraged, man. I'm just encouraged hearing you talk this talk, man. You know what I mean? It's like,
thank you.
It's good, bro. It's good,
Thank
dude.
you, bro. I appreciate that.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Thank you.
projects, cause you the man of many projects, man. When are we getting a new Canon project, bro?
Man, you already know. I drop the same time every year. I drop the same time every year. So y'all can wait, and like y'all need to wait every year. I mean, in the meantime, I'm gonna be dropping singles and music. But as far as projects, man, yeah, man, fall. You can look forward for the fall.
That's how I was gonna say. You usually like around that back to school September, October, man.
Yep. People ain't gotta worry. Oh man, when you see, you know what? Same place, you know it's at. So yeah.
Why is it always October though, bro? I'm trying to understand that though.
I mean that's how it all panned out. You know, I put out Blind World in October. It did really good for me. Then it was time to put out some more music and work. I mean, it's just usually you put out you put out a project every year, unless you do it like every 6 months. You put out a project every year, and that October was kind of the month that I started my career with RMG, putting out projects. And from there on, it's like, all right, this day marks the time that Canon puts out his projects. March, unless I'm putting out something different, unless I'm putting out like a mixtape or something like that earlier. But, you know, March is October is the time that, that I typically put out music. So, yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man.
Are you I gotta ask you this too, bro. This is just the curious person in me that's very observant. Are you are you considering doing some type of like because I know a lot of guys in your, I guess, music class, you know what I'm saying? The social clubs, the Givens brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of guys there's a lot of interest from different record labels and stuff like that with guys doing stuff.
Yeah.
Are you looking at any of that stuff? Are you thinking about like a joint venture situation? Are you just playing it cool? Like, what's your thoughts on in that space right now?
Well, like, so you asked, looking at any different, avenues as far as like label wise,
outside of RMG.
Yeah. Not that I know of right now, man. I'm with the family right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with RMG. I'm with the family. That's home for me. I've gotten other deals before, and while I was with RMG, and I'm just like, man, right now, I'm focused on what I can do with them first. Of course, like, I'm always thinking through, like, hey, how can I get here, or how can I get here in my career? That may take me having to build connections and resources with other people, networking with other people to get to where I want to get to.
Sure.
But we haven't gotten there yet. And that time will come when it's time for it. So this year we're working on different things. But you can't never say unless it for real unless you know for real it's going to happen and that it's going to work. Because otherwise, you announce something and it's not working, or it may not work in the future. It's a dud, and it doesn't do you no good, and it don't do them no good.
Sure.
So it's like, all right. So even if I did sign a joint venture with somebody else or did something else with somebody else, I ain't saying nothing until I know it's working.
Yeah.
Until I know it's working, I ain't saying nothing, because I ain't trying to be that artist where it's like, yo, he did a joint venture with da-da-da-da, and it didn't go nowhere. It didn't do nothing. It flopped a year later, and I'm like, I ain't trying to have that, So, right now I'm just RMG. That's it.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. That's a good space to be in, man. The space where you most
Wait, you know what?
And you feel like this is where God wants you. That's the best place to
let
be.
me add on. Let me add on top of that too. While I'm at it, now I'm doing my own stuff too. It's not just so I'm not necessarily going out and reaching out to different people to do a whole bunch of stuff right now in this time. I mean, we will throughout the year, but man, right now I'm just trying to like put together my own business, my own company, get that stuff off the ground. We already created the LLC. It's called Get the Canon Productions LLC.
Okay.
It's audio engineering and production. We're working on video and production and all that other stuff as well.
So that's why you was telling me before we got on the air. I'm with you. I'm with it. I see it now.
Yeah. So, just trying to get all that stuff together. It's live production. Man, you name it. Like I said, I'm a studio head. I live in a studio. I stay in the studio. You might as well make a living off being in the studio if you're going to be in the studio. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an uplift in the studio. I'm going to do it. It's called Get the Canon Productions LLC. And, man, hopefully throughout the year, you'll see more from it. You'll hear more about it. You'll get it. You'll get it.
Nice, man.
It's still in the groundworks right now, though. But it's a legit LLC. I'm still doing a lot of foundational work with it. But yeah, it's there. It's out.
I'm with you. Audio and video production. So you shoot music videos?
No. Video editing.
Oh, I'm
video
with you.
editing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're working on that piece, man. I don't know if anybody ever seen me do live shows, live concerts, and all that. But when I do those shows, I don't know if they know, but those shows that have the video behind it, I do all that. Like, that's me doing the video. And
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah. In that, my philosophy has always been, man, why pay somebody to do something that you can do yourself? So, I'm like, man, I'm going to just learn how to edit videos and do video production and do, video walls kind of stuff. And so I ain't got to pay nobody else to do it. And so I did, learned it, and I do it for myself now. So, yeah, man, I want to be a jack of all trades, not too much where I burn myself out and not be great at anything that I do, but I want to be good at the things that I know I can be good at.
That's good.
And serve other people with my resources. So, yeah.
That's good, bro. Speaking of something that you're really, 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 really good at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, how did you learn to rap so fast, bro? And I'm not saying it to be funny, but like seriously, dog, like, cause I've been around music. I mean, you know how old I am, bro. I've been around this thing for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I've been in the club with Twister. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's you truly have a gift for it. Some people, it seems like they rapping fast. They not really rapping fast. You really rapping fast, bro. You know what I mean when I say some people seem like they're rapping fast and they not really rapping fast?
Yeah. I mean, part of it is the syllables. It's syllable selection.
Yeah.
It's an art and science to it. It's syllable selection. You can't just try to rap fast with all one syllables.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All one syllable words, single syllable words. Like, you need 3 syllables, 5 syllables, 6 syllables if you can get up there. I mean, it's being able to it's being able to have good selection while rapping. But man, to be honest, it's the Lord. I really can't take credit for that. And I promise you, I ain't trying to be the little humble dude eating a humble pie. I'm for real. Like, there's no class that I ever took. Nobody taught me how to do this. I grew up listening to rapping fast artists, and I realized I could do it too. I really don't have a template or a clear cut way of telling people how I learned how to do it. I just did it. That was it. So
the breath control is impressive to me too, though.
Well, the breath control, yeah, you do have to learn, because otherwise, all your songs will sound like you out of breath. But that's, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because you have 2 kinds of fast rappers. You got the studio fast rapper and then the legit fast rapper.
Oh, the studio fast rappers is punching all the time.
Yeah, man, they fronting. You know what I'm saying? Like they take a million different takes to try to rap as fast as they can. They take a minute. It's like, all right, now perform it live.
Can't do it.
But they can't.
Or they gotta perform to the track.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They perform to the track and they stop. They like, you know, they kind of do it like an ad lib.
Right.
But not an ad lib, but they do it like a stack. Like they let certain parts come in, and when those certain parts come in, they take their breaths. But nah, man, like do it live, and we'll see it. We'll see how good you are. But yeah.
It's the truth, bro.
Yeah, man.
You really do have a gift with that, bro. You really do, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, Canon, man, we will be obviously anticipating this new project in October, production company, all of that stuff, man, and you know, this new single that you drop in mid-February looks like, brother.
Yeah. It's coming out, man. This is probably one of the more vulnerable pieces people have heard from me in a while.
Sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
And man, we appreciate it, man. It's like I said, it's I felt like Mad Haven, you crossed a certain threshold that you hadn't crossed before, but I feel like now you've turned it up to a different space, bro.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I think you should always take it up a notch whenever you're doing something else. Whenever you're moving forward and progressing, you should always be progressing with your music and progressing with everything you're doing. So, yeah.
Good, brother. Well, Canon, man, I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man. No, man, I thank you for this time, bro. I appreciate you. Spill my heart out and share it. I appreciate you listening.
Hey,
Thanks, man.
Thanks for sharing it, dude. Real talk.
Yeah.
On the Wade Radio Show. On the Wade Radio. On the Wade Radio Show. Where it's much more than music, it's ministry.